Hey, this is Matt once again. What about in the video? The paid request, this time for the Zero Cool John. Thank you so much for that, man. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, whatever it may be, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video, and it's pretty much under each video I make. Right down there. Right below. Grumpy Old Men. Now, this was fun to watch again, because it's been a while since I've seen it. I know it's on Blu-ray with the second film. I haven't picked it up yet. I do think the Blu-ray, for what I understand, is in widescreen, which is cool. But I don't think there's much of any features. This film was directed by Donald Petrie, who did Richie Rich, I believe, with Macaulay Culkin. They also did Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock, which I remember liking that one. It has Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. You also got Burgess Meredith, the trainer Mickey from the Rocky first couple films. You have Anne Margaret, Ozzie Davis. You have Kevin Pollak, who's in The Usual Suspects and A Few Good Men. You have Daryl Hannah, who was in Blade Runner, among other movies. But this is a surprise hit. Like, this is a film that when it debuted in '93, didn't do much, but it kept in there and made more and more and more money. Word of mouth spread. Like, hey, this is a pretty funny, sweet movie. But what made the film work was the reteaming of Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. It's crazy when you look at these two, just how much they were, in a way, similar. And they worked together back in the day. The big hit was The Odd Couple, which then that turned into the TV series with other actors. But I do enjoy the original Odd Couple with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. I think that's a very funny movie. And then, ironically enough, one of their last movies was working together on The Odd Couple 2, which I also enjoy that movie as well. A lot of critics hated it, but I thought it was a fun film. And these two have great chemistry with each other. They worked exceptionally well with each other. It's a great match of ping pong with these two guys going back and forth with their verbal jabs at each other, their stings at each other. Hey moron, hey dickhead. they work well together. And they did a few movies together back to the day. And then in the 80s, each actor was kind of, they were making films, but they weren't films that really broke the box office, or I'll be honest that you don't really remember much. And then they were both in JFK, which was interesting. And then they both did this. And then because it was a surprise hit, it kind of got a bit of a re-emergence of them as talent. Because then you had Walter Matthau doing films like IQ and other movies. And then Jack Lemmon would do other films like My Fellow Americans. And they would work together. The '95, they did Grumpy Earl Men. My Fellow Americans was supposed to be Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, but I believe Walter Matthau was sick. So then they got James Garner. Which is another film I do like. I do like My Fellow Americans. I think it's fun for what it is. And then the two of them did Out to Sea, which I thought of these newer films, that was kind of one of the weaker ones. Like Grumpy and Grumpy Old Men I like more. And like I said, The Odd Couple 2 was 1998, I want to say. Because I think Out to Sea was 97, The Odd Couple 2 was 98. And then they passed away almost around the same time. One passed away in 2000. One passed away in 2001. And, Burgess Meredith, he passed away, what, 97? Give or take? And it's sad, you watch this, a lot of these folks have passed away. I don't know if Anne Margaret is still around. Ozzie Davis has passed away. So it's sad when you watch this. Like, a lot of these folks are gone, but not forgotten. And rest in peace to all of them. But yeah, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, they just worked so well together. And that's the big crux of the movie. It takes place in Minnesota. A lot of ice fishing. These two were childhood friends, but deviated because of a lady. And now there's a lot of fighting between them, playing pranks on each other. Jack Lemmon, he's got a daughter played by Daryl Hannah, and he doesn't tell anybody, but he's got problems with the IRS. Walter Matthau, his son, is played by Kevin Pollak. Burgess Meredith plays Jack Lemmon's dad. And Burgess Meredith is fun. He's having a lot of fun in the role with some of the stuff he says. And again, even watching it again, what made the film funny to me is just how these guys play off each other. Like when they walk outside and, Jack Lemmon's tying his shoes and Walter Matthau just goes, "Yeah, you tie your shoes before you fall, you stupid head." Or there's the IRS guy who doesn't know who Jack Lemmon looks like. And so he's talking to the two of them. And Walter Mitt's like, "Oh, that guy, Gustafson. That guy, yeah, I think I know him. He's a weirdo. He's a freak. He hangs around those kinky strip clubs. You know, the ones where the men take off their clothes." Have you seen him? Yeah, maybe, no. Just the way... I think that's why the film was a hit, because I think a new generation didn't know who these guys were, and was their first introduction to these guys. And wow, they're good actors, and they're good comedic actors, and they play off each other well, because they've had experience from doing it for many years, like The Odd Couple. And ones who do remember that, it was nice to see them again. We missed you. Welcome back. And, of course, like the title suggests, show them just how grumpy they can be. And if you do it right, a grumpy old man can be funny. I mean, look at Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa, which I thought was really funny. Either got Walter Matthau looking at the TV, making fun of a weatherman. "Oh, shut up, you fat ass." Pretty much, like I say, they argue. They go to the same bait shop owned by Ozzie Davis, who was in Stephen King's The Stand, the original one. I think he was on the Burt Reynolds TV show Evening Shade. He's been in a few other stuff as well. He was in 12 Angry Men, the William Friedkin film, with Jack Lemmon, which came out after this, I believe. And a new neighbor comes in, Aunt Margaret. And these two, even though they're so old, I think that's also the fun, is that they act like kids again. Like they're fighting each other, arguing each other even more. They're playing even more pranks on each other. Jack Lemmon throwing fish in Walter Matthau's truck, and he doesn't realize it till days later. Or Walter Matthau tying Jack Lemmon's ice shack and dragging it across the ice. Burgess Meredith is always asking if Jack Lemmon, "Did you mount her?" "Oh, Dad, does she have big thighs?" "Well, yeah, then what's the problem?" I wonder how this would fit today in the world of the PC, if this is just too sexist, too misogynistic. And Anne Margaret's character is a very free spirit. She loves to take chances. She'll talk to anybody. And then her and Jack Lemmon start falling in love with each other. And even, the little subplot with Daryl Hannah and Kevin Pollak, they're two good actors. It's cute. You get the idea they have a crush on each other, but Daryl Hannah is married, but the guy, played by Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, you tell that he's a piece of shit. More than likely, that's not going to work out. Then Kevin Pollak is going to be mayor. Because the actors do a decent enough job, and it's their appropriate times, but it doesn't overtake the movie and take the movie away from our 2 stars, which is nice. Ozzie Davis is fun, making fun of the 2 leads. "Man, you are the 2 biggest bullshitters I've ever seen in this frozen nation." Great chemistry. That's what made this work. Same with the sequel. Great chemistry between the cast of characters, especially the two leads. That's what made, I think, a lot of their films work. That's why I'm not big on Out to Sea, because I felt like a film that those two were not together that much. I think they worked best when they were together in those movies. Out to Sea felt like, but I could still watch as a time waster. Odd Couple 2 I thought was fairly fun. Yeah, but, a lot of people hated it. This is another film where you have that song, which was big around this time, because a lot of movies fucking had it. Remember that song? I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. Oh, sexy, it hurts. I'm too sexy for my hat. That was in Encino Man. That was in this movie. It was in a lot of movies around this time. I mean, you never hear that fucking song nowadays, but back then, everywhere you turn, that's one of those songs you would keep fucking hearing. But because I had not heard for so long, I went, oh shit, that brings back a bit of nostalgia. Because I think I first saw this on VHS, I believe. I think renting it. Which we didn't have video stores growing up. I did, I should say. It was gas stations that had VHS tapes you could rent. Because there's such small towns, there's the factory, there's a school, there's houses, there's a one little grocery shop, and then there's a gas station, and that's where in either one of those you could rent movies. Unless you go all the way 30, 40 miles to the bigger town, and then you can rent movies there. And maybe you do that, I don't know, once a month or something. This is a long way to go back and forth. And the reason I paused there is because there was a certain sense of sadness watching this. I mentioned at the beginning that these very talented people are no longer with us, and they're bringing me laughs even in 2022 when they've been gone for almost 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. 2000, 2001. 20 years later, they're still bringing me laughs. So, thank you for that. Because there's moments of, oh, 1937, I kicked your ass. No, you didn't kick my ass, I kicked your ass. Fine, you want to do it? Come on, swing at me, shrimp. You're not worth it. Ah, get out of there. It's the way, I'm not doing a good job portraying it. It's the way Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon portray those characters what makes it work. It's the performances that make it work very well. I liked also the Minnesota snowy setting. Gives a bit of a unique background. They're just as chilly as their attitudes, so to speak. Or after a fight that they're having, they try to have this argument. So, what? What? Like they forget what the hell they were arguing about, and the way that happens, again, they work very well with each other. And it does have some nice heart to it. Again, the spoilers. Like when Ozzie Davis' character, he passes away, or when Jack Lemmon, he realizes if the IRS, he's not going to have anything to offer Aunt Margaret, so he crushes it, and then Walter Matthau's with her. But then when Jack Lemmon gets in a heart attack, the way Walter Matthau truly cares for him, when he goes to the hospital, are you family or friend? And the way Walter Matthau pauses and goes, friend. With such sincerity. And he's looking at Jack Lemmon, who's unconscious in the hospital bed. He's like, Merry Christmas, John. Because he always called him Gustafson, but he would call him John. And just, they weren't just good comedic actors, they're good actors. I miss Walter Matthau. I miss Jack Lemmon. They're just good fucking actors. And we're seeing less and less of that in today's age of just these good fucking actors. That's another sadness. Like, you look at the rising people, what actors you don't have for the new generation that's going to gravitate that type of feeling of that's a good actor, and that's a, you know, could do comedy, could do drama, both just like that. And it's not ham-fisted, it's not over sentimental, it works, it's a nice heart to it. And he helps Jack Lemmon, out, helps his finances out, realizes that, you know, Ann Margaret really loves Jack Lemmon, tells her the truth of what's all going on, and moves on from there. Happy ending. Jack Lemmon marries Ann Margaret. And I forgot they had bloopers at the end here. Which, I mean, Jackie Chan was doing it. But I mean, Rumble in the Bronx didn't come up to you as, what, 95? So by this time, the only time you had seen really bloopers at the end of a movie, especially in America, was maybe some of the Burt Reynolds, Hooper, maybe Cannonball Run. Yeah, Cannonball Run films. No, it wasn't really bloopers or Hooper. They were just stunts. So it was like just the Cannonball Run movies you saw him in. But it had been a while since you saw bloopers at the end, so this felt, wow. Nowadays it seems typical, like you have bloopers at the end of Jackie Chan films, like the Rush Hour films, and there's others that have done it, other comedies, but in '93 wasn't as often as nowadays. So it was an interesting choice. But yeah, watch it again. It was still fun. It was fun to see. It brought back nice memories. I don't really have a lot of issues with it. I mean, obviously because things get a bit serious in the third act, it's probably not as funny as the first two thirds. But just seeing these two guys working together, sparring verbally with each other, in a way, maybe some people would find it tame nowadays, because you look at, you know, what, Dirty Grandpa and all these other movies, like, they're much more hard-hitting in terms of humor or dialogue or cursing. That, again, this might seem tame to people nowadays, but I thought it worked for what it needed to do and accomplish. And all I can say is rest in peace to Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, Burgess Meredith, Ossie Davis, just talented people, talented actors that did their jobs very well. Thanks for the memories. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.